Hi, I'm Hotwife Sadie Rose.
And I'm Jasper Woodcock, and you're watching.
Orgasm Central TV. You want to go first?
Okay, so probably about 7 years ago, got on Chatterbait with wife at the time, and we just were thinking, okay, let's try to generate some funds. We had saw a show, a Dateline show from a couple who was out in California, and we were thinking, oh, if they're making 6 digits, then we can make 6 digits too. So we started out doing that, and then probably about a year and a half into it, we were both teachers, and we got outed to the school board. And next thing you know, they're making a phone call. School board's calling us in, wanting to fire us, and so we hired an attorney, a lawyer, and negotiated a deal where we could get our pensions. And from that, Barstool Sports, TMZ, it took off, and so the exposure was out of control, and that's really how I got in and started blowing up, and it was free advertisement for us.
For me, slightly a little different. No teacher, no explosion, like no outing. I've been in the lifestyle for 20 years and made content obviously with my husband, not intentionally like to sell or anything. It was just for our own personal use. And I was doing some modeling. I decided, fuck it, I have some nudes and stuff that I can't just post on social media. So I was like, well, I'll start an OnlyFans. I'll put them on there and sell them to like my fans who follow me for modeling. And then I moved and I didn't have like too much going on, and was like, all right, well, I'm not really shooting, so I guess I'll just kind of let it die out. And my husband was like, well, we have all this stuff that we've shot with people for our own personal. We'll reach out and see if they're cool with it. And if they are, then we'll share that stuff on there. And if not, then no harm, no foul. So we please ended up trying that, see how the train rolled, and then I had somebody reach out and ask for my first collab, and that was about a year ago. And then it kind of just steamrolled really fast from there. So that's where I'm at now. Honestly, my favorite thing I think about the work is not really like the work part. It's more like meeting different people that I probably never would have met otherwise. Because I've actually met some pretty awesome people. The work itself is just it to me, it's not work if I'm enjoying it. So to me, it's more the people that I get to meet. The negative would probably be, I hate how expensive testing is, but I like how safe it is. Right. But I hate how expensive it is. But it's worth it to know that your safety and your self-worth, like being and everything else, is good. So I'm okay with it. But that, I don't know. I haven't really been in super long to be like, oh my God, I hate this. Like, I don't have that yet. I don't know if I just haven't experienced it or I enjoy too much of it. I don't really have it down.
No, I think like the negative stuff would be if you're meet or work with somebody who's not compatible, but a lot of times you're having a good conversation prior, so you're getting to know that person before you even meet them. Um, so that's, I mean, there's that'll you eliminate that negative possibility by doing your homework a little bit ahead of time. But she's right, the testing is out of control. If you're not in an area where you can be tested in the lab in on location, you're spending some extra money for that. And but again, it's a big safety issue, so super important for that. As far as like the excitement or the fun part about it is really like meeting other people and being able to sort of not hide part of your life. So like we knew each other from sports, our kids, and we would go around, we wouldn't even sit next to each other at the sporting events because it was like, families knew what I was doing, families knew what they were doing. So we just stayed separate so that we weren't the talk of the town and having problems with the kids or anything like that. So um, that was, something that we controlled for the longest time.
I will say, add on that, like the negative that I think I would feel is there's a lot of great people that are in this industry, and there's a lot of judgment, I think, around the people and what they do. That is a negative. Like, we're all like just everyday, your regular people. Like, if you didn't know this is what we did, you wouldn't mind who we were. It's just once you find out what we do, it's like, oh, like I don't want to associate with them, or oh, that's taboo. Like, oh, somebody's gonna think something of me if I like do too much with this person. And I feel like that part is I don't really like that part, because I feel like I'm a good person outside of just like all the sexual stuff.
Right. And I think one of the things, like as relationship wise, is like when you have that communication and you get to know somebody and you've been around somebody for a while, it's sort of like I said, you hide part of your life from some people. And while you're hiding that, they really get to know who you truly are. So when you throw that at them and say, hey, by the way, I am doing this or I'm doing that and everything else, they've already met and seen the real you.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're just throw them that little curveball that they may not be ready for, but it's like, I'm really not, this is me, but this is also what I do. I don't like her that much, so we haven't had anything good.
We're actually working on one together now. We honestly don't really have just like other than like small snippets, we really don't have one just the two of us, really.
Yeah. We do a lot of reels, we do a lot of like chatterbait shows or live shows, but like as far as like creating content and videos between the two of us, it's, I mean, not very many, especially by ourselves.
I have a good scene that like I thought we did pretty good on, but it involves other people.
Right.
So, which is good, more the merrier. But for me, like, I don't know if I have a favorite scene. I say this a lot. I really need to start watching them all and just pick one. But I say that because there isn't one that I'm just like, oh my God, that was the best scene, period. I have a lot of favorite things that happen in each scene. Like, I'm like, oh my God, that was hot. Like, that was my favorite thing in this scene. But I don't necessarily have like a favorite, just single scene where that's my favorite. Like, I don't really have that. And it could be my fault. Maybe I don't watch my own stuff enough to really like pick one. But I have favorite moments. I don't really have a favorite scene, like one individual thing. Do you?
Well, I don't know if it's one particular scene, but what I like to do, because I know that it sells very well, is like the outdoor stuff. For example, I was just out in Vegas in the desert, shot a video out there, and I've done that like 2 or 3 times. You did the jet ski one. That was,
I did do jet ski, yeah. I did a hike one too. I went out into
so
the desert.
Those are sort of like risky like ones that
you hope you don't get caught.
And it's also not your normal in the bedroom or take a place in a house or whatever else it is. It's something totally different. So I think the outdoor ones, like I've done stuff on like different beaches on Caribbean islands, Hawaiian islands, whatever else. So those have been very popular and good sellers. So I like to try and stick with that when I get the opportunity where I know I'm not going to get busted for doing it.
You talk.
Yeah.
Well,
so here's the thing, like when you're talking about the Cash App, you're talking about some of those other things. I think there's ways as a person in the industry that you can discreetly be able to do those things. I mean, obviously, if you're putting out, hey, this is my porn setup and everything else, that's going to throw up a red flag. So I think there are a few ways of getting around that. But yeah, unfortunately, I know even like overseas stuff that a lot of people are sending, different forms of the money coming in, whether it's Western Union or something like that, because they can't use those things. So not being able to do that. As far as the loans, I think that one of the things that I told you guys like from the beginning was when you take out the money, be consistent with what you're taking out, because having talked with the banker about all this, if monthly you're bringing out deposits of, I'm just throwing numbers, let's just say each month you're taking $10,000 out, and it's consistently $10,000, $10,000, $10,000. That 2-year span that the bank's looking at shows that there's consistency with that. Now, if you're taking out 1 week, you're taking out $500, the next week you're taking out, $6,000 or whatever else, and it bounces around and fluctuates, there's no stability in that where the bank's going to want to give you a loan. So to qualify, those things don't look good because they're not consistent as far as being able to say that you're making that month after month. So that was one of the things that I've said to these guys. I've said it to so many people: consistently take out what you can afford, keep some of it banked so that even on those low months, you could still take out that same number. And then the bank, when they look at it, they see that those numbers are almost like a salaried income where it's consistent.
I think that the reason some of those are a little bit more strict is because for me, there's a distinct of, okay, these people as sex workers, like you're in the industry, you're fucking each other, you're making films to sell. There's a difference between that and prostitution, which is also sex worker, if you so call it. So if you have somebody who's taking payments that way, but they're just going and like fucking a person, that's not like I mean, it's a business, but you're not in the same business. And I don't think they want to allow that at a bank or that to be happening in those ways. So it's like, it's a little bit harder for those that are, I guess, maybe going about it the right way. Like you build your own LLC, you start really like you're selling your content. You're not just out like, oh, let me just go fuck that person for money. Like we make scenes, but I'm not like, hey, pay me to fuck. Like what? Like we're not. It's mutual. We're trying to help each other out. So I think maybe that's why the banks and loans and different things like that are a little bit that way, because it's hard to define who's doing it, maybe the right way or the wrong way. And so everybody's kind of paying for it.
But I think the banks are at an issue too, where they've given out so many loans in the past that now it's pretty strict. So they've tightened the clamps, whether it's for sex work or anything else. I mean, that's why I had mentioned, I said, be consistent with that money, because they're not handing out loans like they did in the early 2000s. I mean, it's pretty in depth as far as what they're doing with that. But yeah, overall, yeah, it's unfortunate that the whole money issue is being broken down by those, because I mean, they're still making their percentage, and it would seem like they're making a pretty damn good percentage with quite a few people.
Yeah.
To cut that off of what they'd be bringing in as far as being to use those apps and everything else.
I don't know, to be honest.
I think it's just like, I mean, being in teaching, you got to educate. So it's like, as far as the sex work is concerned, we're not doing anything different than somebody's doing in the livelihood of their own home or in their own bedroom and everything else. We're monetizing it. That's a big difference. But we're also okay with our stuff being out there. So I think it's just like anything else. If we all come together and there's some sort of communication, openness, a conversation on the topic, a lot of those things, there's a different view on them. I mean, they're still going to be strict on their views and everything else, but like I've told kids, even in the hallways in the classroom, when you get out of class, you have a passing time to get to the next class. That's used to get your stuff for the next hour and use the bathroom, because you should be in the classroom. You're there to learn. So if you're fucking around or messing around in the hallway, like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So us as teachers and educators, we're going to look at you in the hallway like you're doing something wrong. Same thing with the police officer on a street corner. If people are hanging out on a street corner, I'm going to assume that you're doing something wrong. And if you don't want me to think that you're dealing drugs or doing anything else, then move along, because the sidewalk is called a sidewalk to walk, not to hang out on. So those type of things, again, if there's an open communication with that and there's knowledge of what's going on, there's a better understanding of why us as teachers give those kids a hard time, or why the police officers will give those people a hard time. So when we're getting given a hard time by people's outlook on what sex work is, there's no education on that, or they don't see that openness or that part of the story, and they're just like shutting it down. I think it's more me than you.
Honestly, I think each person, probably has their own, niche or reason that they stand out for people.
We do a good job promoting each other.
we do. We're very supportive, and honestly, anybody in the industry, if you're supportive of everybody else, everybody together is just going to excel and grow. It's as soon as you become selfish and it becomes more like, oh, I want to succeed. Well, it takes all of us to succeed. But if you're going to do it on your own, that's when somebody's going to start being like, okay, on your own, have fun. And it's not the same. So I don't know if necessarily I stand out, because I enjoy helping. We enjoy like just excelling everybody in a way. But I think because I just enjoy it for real, that people see that. And so it's not like I'm just like, oh, there's another girl. Okay. Oh, yeah. Like there's a difference. And if you can feel that through like a video or a camera or in person, and that person that you're talking to seems genuine, is just different than, just watching some random fucking.
Yeah. I think it's real important to have be positive all the time. Have that open communication. Like we talked about it one of the first times before we went on anything live on a chat room or anything else. The one thing that we said was like, there's going to be people that are negative, but ignore that. Just stay positive, keep talking, welcome people into the room, say hello to everybody, build up that relationship where we're personable and have a good personality, and actually can carry on an educated conversation too. So those are all big qualities that can be attractive in a sense to raise that popularity. And then also with that popularity, you got to put stuff out there. So you're doing reels, you're doing TikToks, you're doing your live shows, you're posting stuff on social media. That's where it all comes in, and then retweeting it or putting it on your story, doing all those other things. That's where the popularity comes in. And when you're saying what you're going to do, like if she posts something, hey, let me know, like one of the first times, hey, make sure you tag me, do this, do whatever, so that I can redo it. And when you stick to your word and those people know that you're not in it for yourself, because as a community, we're only going to grow if we consistently help each other out. Yeah. And so as far as like the popularity, I really think it's just that openness and friendship and being able to talk all the time and get those people to know that we're truly could be best of friends if you allow that to happen.
Yeah, I agree.